going to help you plan your senior year, and counselors are going into junior year English classes. So we're happy to be here today with you. So we're going to go over the course request form. We're going to go over today some of the steps for registering you for senior year classes, answer questions, and make sure you know all the resources that you have as we finish up the last year and a half of high school together.
Since we're recording this, I'm going to ask, let's hold off on questions until the end. That way we can get through the presentation part of it and then answer questions afterwards, just to make it a little bit easier on the recording piece. Okay. So in front of you, what you have is a little half sheet of paper. This is kind of a quick reference guide to get you to the things that you're going to need for this course selection process. Up at the top, you have kind of a quick calendar of things that are happening and when they're happening. You notice the first two dates are today because we're in classrooms and we're talking with you about what's coming up. Tonight is going to be the webinar for students and parents. We will cover quite a bit more than we're covering today. So come tonight to the webinar. The webinar link is on the website. It's also that one right there. Incidentally, this is the registration website link right here that you can use to go directly to the registration page. This one, this QR code will take you directly to the course request form. So that's that one there. And then the last one there is a to-do list for you as juniors, rising seniors, to help you prepare for next year. If we have time, we'll hit that at the end as well. Okay. So we're going to start off by going to the Claremont High School website. All of you need to have your iPads out. It looks like most of you do. If you don't, get it out. And we want you to go to the Claremont High School website. Now, two things. Number one, make sure you go to the Claremont High School website, not the Claremont Unified School District website.
Should be the Claremont High School in the top left corner.
You should see the Wolfpack logo up there.
And if you aren't, if you're on Claremont High School, you need to be to the home page. So double click, just tap the wolf head.
Okay. So when you're on the CHS website, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see this little link right here where it says Counseling and Career Department. Go ahead and click those two guys talking. Just click on that link. And that's going to bring you to the Claremont High School counselor page. Still one more thing we need to do, but I do want to highlight some things on this page before we get there. Okay. Right down here where it says Junior Information Night 2025. This is our YouTube video of Junior Night. How many of you guys were at Junior Night? Okay.
That's awesome.
If you weren't at Junior Night, you want to watch this video. This is all about planning for life after high school, making decisions in terms of colleges. There is a ton of amazing information in this video. So if you weren't at Junior Night, please make sure you actually watch this video. It's long, it's 2 hours, so break it up. Do it while you're working out or do it while you're eating dinner. But this is a really good opportunity for you to get a lot of phenomenal information. This is on the Claremont High School YouTube channel. It's right there. Okay. So all of our videos, including the one we're doing right now, will actually be on the Claremont High School YouTube channel. This one should be up by tomorrow, including the webinar that we're doing tonight will also be on the YouTube channel. Okay. So please take advantage of those resources. We'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up and why that stuff's important. Is there anything else you wanted to cover on here?
No,
okay.
That's it.
Scroll back up to the top. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this one here, this big box here. It's the same kind of logo that's up on here, kind of keeps it all the same. Go ahead and click on that, and it's going to take you to the course selection page for this year, or for next year, I should say. Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of outlines the whole process. We start in the classroom. We give information in the classroom. We give you, for juniors, a week to go through the form, make selections, change your selections, talk to teachers, your families, your friends, so that you can submit your final selections within a week. And then counselors will see all of you through your social science class in the next few weeks. One by one, we'll see you through your classes, go over your course requests, give you a credit check, and make sure that your senior year courses align with what your goals are, both for your senior year and for your life after graduation. We definitely want to have alignment there.
In the upper right-hand corner, go back a little bit, just the upper right-hand corner, these are course selection links. You're actually going to find these repeated down the section below. We'll go over that as well. Right below that is the CHS counseling staff, the alphabet. So if you're like, I don't know who my counselor is, you just find it on here, okay? Also our contact information. In the center here, this is new. This is our course selection calendar. So as you're looking in terms of what the counselors are doing and when we're seeing you, it's all right here on this calendar. Okay. So if you were to scroll down just a little bit, Ms. Aber, you can see, I want to see February 19th. There we go. You can see we're going to start seeing rising seniors on February 19th with Mr. Barcelona's class. Okay. This is going to tell you when you're going to come and see your counselor individually for that one-on-one appointment. Does that make sense? Okay. So all of the important dates for course selection, you're going to find them in that calendar. Okay. Scroll down a little bit further and you're going to see these menus here. You're going to select your grad year 2026. That little plus sign opens up all the information that you're going to need in terms of the course selection. So I mentioned those links up there earlier. They're repeated down here. I like it here easier. It's just easier to find. Okay. So you've got all these different options to take a look at. The webinar link, that's the one for tonight. When tonight passes, tomorrow will actually be the webinar recording instead of the webinar link. So that'll be changing to the recording as opposed to the link, but that's all going to be up on this page. Right now, we're going to jump into our course selection form. So all of you follow me there. Go to your course selection form. When you open it, you won't see this, or you shouldn't see this. You should see this. Okay, show me with your heads. Bobbleheads, are we all here? Yes or no? Get bobbleheads? Yes. Some of you get this. Beautiful. So we're all together on this. All right. As we go through the course selection form, I know some of you are tempted. I can already see you going away at your iPads. Slow down. Please follow us along. I want to make sure we don't make mistakes. Please just go along at our pace. Deal? So let's jump into this. The first thing on there is going to be your email address. Okay. This is the email address you actually check. Now, Miss Aber happened to put her CUSD email address down there. That doesn't mean you put your CUSD email address. That's the one that she checks. So put the email address that you're actually going to check on here, okay? Scrolling down a little bit more, you see information about course selection resources. It will take you back to that homepage. So in case you went here through the QR code, you could find your way back to that original homepage. Summer school information. Ms. Aber, you want to talk about summer school?
Sure. Summer school will be offered this year. We don't have the summer school registration forms yet, but you can count on that we will offer government, College Prep Gov, a semester of econ, College Prep Econ in our summer school. Summer school will be 2 weeks for one class. So 2 weeks to finish Gov, another 2 weeks if you wanted to take econ in the summer. We do plan to offer a few dual enrollment classes. So if you haven't fulfilled your fine art credit for UCs and Cal States, you may want to think about that. Chemistry is offered also in the summer. I doubt most of you will need that, but it is available if you do. And then we have a lot of remediation in the summer. Should you have gotten a low grade in a class like a D that you need to repeat, summer school would be an option there as well.
Perfect. The first thing you're going to fill out on this form is going to be your ID number. And this is actually going to be probably the most important piece of information I get from you. Here is the reason why. Once you fill out this entire form, we take this information and we mass upload it into our student system. So you guys know it is Student Connect, right? Okay, all of the information we put on here has to be entered into that system. In order for us to do that, we'll use your ID number to match you up with who you are in the system. If this is wrong, you will not get course requests in the system, which means Miss Aber has to pick your courses for you next year.
And I don't guess well.
She really doesn't. Okay, so you want to make sure your ID number is correct. If you need to double check Minga, please. If you need to double check Student Connect, do that. Next thing down here that you need to fill out is going to be your last name and your first name. And I know this is going to be one of those mind-blowing moments for you. You ready for this? Your last name is, oh, where is it?
Oh, sorry.
Already messing with me. Your last name is your last name. I know. Boom, right? Okay. Your first name is your first name. This is why it's important, because if you mix the two of those up, your information is going to end up with Miss Aber when you're my kid. Makes sense? And then I don't have your course request, and I think you didn't do the job you were supposed to do, and then I'll be mad at you, and then it just gets ugly from there. Okay? That's not actually true. But it does slow the process down, and then we can't find your information, and it makes it more difficult when we meet with you one-on-one. So make sure you put your last name in the last name spot, your first name in the first name spot. Okay. Next thing down is your phone number. Okay. Like your email, this needs to be your phone number, one that you're actually can be contacted at. Miss Aber really likes to make crank calls in the summer, and so she wants to be able to do that with you all. No, I'm just kidding. She won't crank call you. I will. She won't. No, but we need your phone number there because in August, when we're going through like crazy trying to get your schedule ready, and we say, hey, I've got your science course and your musical theater course only offered in the same period, I need to call you and find out which one you really want. We need the phone number for you, not mom and dad. Does that make sense, guys? So it needs to be your phone number. Okay.
Awesome. All right. The next question should be easy. If you have an IEP, you would know that. You have a case carrier on campus. Let us know if you do have an IEP. If you have a 504, mark that button. If neither of these are familiar to you, then please indicate none. Next, we want to know what you're getting ready for after high school. And you can mark as many boxes here as you like. If you're in full IB, we want to know that because that does kind of dictate conversations for coursework. But we want to know, four-year college, are you thinking sports in college? They all are important to plan the right sequence of classes for next year. Next, you've probably heard that this year we launched team sports for athletes at CHS. And we want to know if you guys are going to be playing sports next year. And we are asking to know about fall, winter, and spring sports. So let us know if you are participating in any sports. You can say no, like in the example here, no winter sport. And then I indicated spring sport. I'm going to swim. So, but you can change it as you need to. It helps us to plan how to structure your classes. And then we'll go over that information when we meet with you individually through your social science classes in the next few weeks. Questions so far? All right. We want to know if you've played these sports that you've done or participated in these sports in prior years. So indicate yes or no. There's no wrong answer here. And then indicate if you're full diploma or non-full diploma candidate as well. And then last but not least, Claremont High School has had several online asynchronous courses offered to our students the last few years. We've been offering Spanish 4 online asynchronous this year. We've had Gov and Econ, Senior English, and we've had one section of US history this year. So if you are open to having an online asynchronous class for next year, mark that question yes or no. Some of you like it, some of you don't like it. We want to know. But Spanish 4 is likely to be asynchronous online next year.
Okay, we click next, and it's going to take us to our first set of course selections. And we're always going to start out with this little legend here. So you'll notice, if we scroll down just a little bit more, Miss Aber, right next to AP Government, you see a P, a plus, a star. You go back up here, it's going to tell you what those means. P is college prep. Star means there's a prerequisite. The plus means it's weighted. If it has an R, it's an ROP class. If it has a D, it's dual enrollment. If it has an I, that means there is an interview or an audition that's required to enroll in that class. Easy enough? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the courses themselves. We will start with your start time. So you guys all know we have a 0 period start time or we have a first period start time. 7:25 a.m., 8:30 a.m. It's your choice here. I will always say this, I cannot guarantee a 0 period start time. Teachers may or may not choose to have a 0 period, and if they don't choose to have a 0 period, we can't offer a class that they teach in 0 period. Does that make sense? We can't always guarantee it. We do the best we can when it's available. Next down here is going to be government. To graduate from Claremont High School, you need 1 semester of government. That can be fulfilled through American Government or AP Government. Both of those are a semester long. IB History HL2 is a year-long course. And to meet the government requirement, this is a little different. You must complete the full year of IB History HL2. Does that make sense?
And you can only do IB History HL2 if you're in HL1 this year. So you can't hop from AP US to IB HOTA year 2. But you do need to keep it sequential with IB.
For economics, you have 2 choices. You have regular college prep economics and AP macro and microeconomics. This is a semester long. This one is a year long. In order to graduate, you must complete either the college prep semester or the full year of AP macro and micro. Does that make sense, guys? Okay.
All right.
And then we jump down to English. So for English, you have a few more choices here. Okay. You guys are probably familiar with these. Senior English, AP Language Comp, AP Literature, IB English HL2. I will suspect most of you will enroll in that one. Okay. And again, you can only enroll in this one if you've been enrolled in English HL1, which you guys have been. Okay. And then the last option here is English 101. We're actually going to select English 101 on this one because I want to show you a little feature of what happens here. If I select English 101 and select next, it's going to take me to a separate screen. You won't see this screen if you select, for example, English HL2. Okay, so you're only going to see this if you select English HL1. It's part of the SMART form. This will happen a few more times down the road. I'll point that out. Okay, so if I selected English 101, I'm going to be required to pick a backup English class. And the reason for that is because English 101 is very popular and we do not have enough spots to fill the demand every year. Okay, so as a result, we're going to want to have a backup to English 101. And so you're going to pick that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
She's moving ahead of me. She's jumping ahead. See that, Miss Abear?
I know.
Okay, so we're going to pick our backup of AP Lit, and then we're going to scroll down here. Now, English 101 is also a semester-long course. You get 10 credits in one semester with English 101, and as a result, we have to pick a course opposite to that semester. So let's say you picked English 101 and you enrolled in second semester. I have to figure out what I'm putting you in first semester. So that drop-down box is going to give you an option of our semester-long electives that you can pick from. Let's say for this case, I really love English, and I'm going to take English 216, American Latino Literature, as another dual enrollment course. Okay, we select that, and then we click Next, and now we're jumping into math, and I'll let Ms. Aber cover math.
All right. To graduate from high school, the requirement is 2 years of math, year of Math 1, and any other year fulfills the grad requirement. Colleges want a minimum of 3. If you're looking at certain majors, you definitely want to have 4, or maybe even more. Some of you have done the accelerated math in prior years, like the 1, 2, 2, 3, or enhanced 3. So you're already accelerated in math. We definitely want to encourage you to choose math next year. The form is structured so that you take math next year because it's good for your brains. You do not want to take a year off from math if you're 4-year college bound, because when you get to college, you'll need more math. And if you've had 15 months off from math, you're going to really not be happy. So your choices for math are listed here. Talk to your current math teacher, talk to your friends in your math class, but do talk to your math teachers in this regard. It's really helpful. There are AP, let me slow down. If you're still not in Math 3 this year or finished it, definitely you would choose Math 3 if you're 4-year college bound. There are, of course, AP Math and IB Math courses to choose from, and we can assist you with finalizing that, but do talk to your current teacher. In this example, I had Math for Personal Finance, but I think I'm going to change that to Calc AB because I'm in AP Pre-Calc this year. And had I chosen, do you want me to choose Math 160 or 165?
Yeah, let's go ahead and show that real quickly here. If you choose one of these two here, so these are our dual enrollment math courses. They're both a semester long. So if you choose one of the dual enrollment math courses, this will be the same for science as well. You will need to select an opposite course for that. So in this situation, Ms. Aber selected Math 165. She chose to do Math 160 as the opposite course. Those happen to be offered in the same period, which makes it very easy in scheduling. Okay, click on Next. There we go. And now we're going to jump into science. So science, again, is one of those courses that require 2 years to graduate, a bio and a chem, and 2 years for colleges. 3 years are recommended. Some of you in this room have already finished that third year of science. Do you need to take a science as a senior? Maybe, maybe not. I would say it does depend on your major. For certain majors, especially if you're going into a science field, you're going to want to have that extra year of a science. And so you may want to pick another science next year. Some of you just love science and you just want to do it even though that's not your major. Some of you are in IB and you need to take it for your full IB diploma, right? Okay, these are all good reasons to select science. So we want you to take a look at our offerings and pick one of our science courses. And you've got a lot of options on here, including 2 new courses that have not been offered at CHS, and that is our dual enrollment biology of cancer and dual enrollment infectious diseases, biology of infectious diseases. So 2 brand new dual enrollment classes we have not offered previously. Some of you may also say, hey, I've done my years, I'm done with science. You can select that you're not taking a science in your senior year. That is an option there for you. Okay? And again, just like the other dual enrollment courses, if you pick a dual enrollment course in science, we do need you to pick an opposite course here. One other thing for science that is different is we need you to give us an alternate science. Here's what we have found. Science courses, because we have so many options for students, we have found that some of them end up being in conflict with other things you're doing. For example, if you are in musical theater, that may kick you out of our IB Physics SL because it's in the same period. And we can't necessarily control that. So by giving us an alternate science that you're actually interested in, it'll actually help us fulfill a course request. Now, that is not our first choice. We would rather give you the science you actually picked. Just to be clear, we're not trying to do that, okay? That just gives us an alternate option if we need to do that, okay?
All right.
Let's go ahead and move
Questions
on.
so far?
Yes.
Are you still do like another year of IB Bio? Whatever for alternate science.
You wouldn't need to. You could just say none
Yeah.
in your case.
Or just put IB Bio HL2. We'll know that. If you're full IB and you're like, I have to have the second year of this science, as that example, it's okay. It's not perfect for every student, but in that situation, just put IB Bio HL2. That's fine. Yeah.
Good question. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. It depends on the colleges. We count it as science, but many colleges count comp sci as math.
So you will not see comp sci as a science on here. We will use traditional sciences for this section. We will consider that to be an elective for these purposes. We consider it a science elective. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes. I'm going to get there at the end.
Yes.
Just hang
good
tight.
question.
We'll get there at the end. Okay. Next up is going to be world language.
All right. So world language, the graduation requirement is either a year of world language or a year of visual, music, or performing arts, or a year of career and technical education, ROP class. So the grad requirement is low, but colleges, four-year colleges want at least 2 years. 3 is recommended. And I'll tell you, the UCs, they love those 4 years of world language. If you're full IB, you need to do 4 years of language as well. So if you're currently in a world language, go on to that next year. If you're currently in the 4th year of Spanish, IB or AP Spanish, please note that we're really working hard to create a 5th year Spanish for you next year. The 5th year Spanish is titled AP Spanish Literature and Culture, and the 5th year Spanish in IB is IB Spanish HL. It's near the bottom of the world language. So please be aware of that. If you're currently in a 1st year language, notice that for next year, 2nd year world languages have a MYP prefix at the front. It doesn't mean you're MYP. It's just simply a title change that our school is doing school-wide. But these are all the world language courses to choose from. And I am going to say I'm doing IB Spanish SL next year. Talk to your world language teachers if you have questions about this. There's also the honors option in year 3 in world languages too. So I made a choice there. If I had said I wasn't going to take a world language,
it would bring her to a separate page.
Yes.
We skipped over that.
Yeah,
but it would
did.
bring you to a separate page where you'd have to pick additional electives. So now we're on that final page. This is where you're going to pick your electives, and you'll have a primary elective to choose and alternate electives.
Right.
Okay.
So if you're full IB diploma, you're going to be choosing TOK, second year of TOK, second semester of TOK here instead if you're doing full IB. If you're not doing full IB, you can choose your first elective here. Let's spark out an elective someone's thinking about.
I heard that Counseling 207 class is a great class with a phenomenal teacher.
All right.
My class. It's fun.
All right. So that's what we marked here. Then you're asked for an alternate elective, and maybe yearbook would be cool. Notice that there is an interview or audition. There's an interview, actually, an application for yearbook. And then you're also asked to provide that third backup choice to the first and second choices. And then you would also give a backup. So I chose computer science in this example. It could be IB computer science, though, for some of you, or something else. There's so many different choices.
Okay, so let me kind of clarify on some of the electives. When you're choosing a primary and alternates, please understand it is always our goal to give you your first choice. Always our goal. We want to see that happen. But there are certain circumstances when we can't make that happen. So we do need real alternate electives. Here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see you put down Counseling 207, Counseling 207, and Counseling 207. Because if I can't give you Counseling 207, we get to pick what you're taking. Get it? I want you to actually get the courses you want. And in order to do that, we do need alternates down here. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, some of you are in things like musical theater, choirs, bands. Anybody in IB in here? Okay. Where you actually, these are the courses you need because you've been in band for 4 years or you're part of the full program in IB. Those are priorities, and we will do everything we can to make sure those get scheduled for you. This would also include if you're in trying to complete the second year of a pathway through ROP. We will absolutely make every effort to get you into those classes. Okay, so we will put priorities on things, especially if you're full IB, especially if you're doing ROP in band, choir, theater, those kinds of things. Okay, let me finish up and then we'll go to questions. Okay, scrolling down a little bit further here, you have a spot for additional information. Okay, if you're in full IB and you're like, I just picked 6 classes, I need 7. This is where I want you to put it, in this additional information. I am full IB, I need to take IB Psych SL my senior year and TOK. That goes right here. I want to be in 3 choirs, so I need 7 periods. This is a great place to put it. Okay, give us information on here because this is going to help us get things prepared before we even talk with you and make the conversation just a little bit smoother. Does that make sense? Okay. One information does not go here. Do not put in here, I want Miss Evans for IB English HL2. Because I'll tell you right now, number 1, you don't teach it. That's number 1. So it's not an option. Number 2, we cannot take teacher requests. Okay. There is no place in our system to put teacher requests. And so there's no way for you to request them. We can't take them. So please don't put that in there. If you do, just realize we're going to delete it and ignore it. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Make sense? Okay.
All right.
Last thing here, you will see this little section here to read over. Basically, when you click this, you're saying that you and your parent, you see student and parent, understand this. You're agreeing to this. Now, that should mean, hopefully for all of you, you're thinking, oh, that means mom and dad need to see what I picked. Yes, they do. Okay? You have until February 13th to finalize this form. Okay? Let me show you. We're all going to hit submit right now. We've all selected our classes. Let's hit submit. When you hit submit, you're actually going to get an email that says, hey, yay, you submitted. Okay? But let's say tonight, go ahead and close that window down because I want to show them how to get it from the website. Let's say tonight you go home and you go to the webinar and you and your parents sit down. Your parents are like, okay, show me what you did. I want to see if we want to make changes. Easy way to do that. just click on that course selection link again, or scan the QR code for the course selection link on here. It's going to take you to this page, and you're going to be able to edit your response. And now you can go through the form, review it with your parents, make any changes you and your parents decide on, and then hit submit again. And you can do this as many times as you want up until February 13th at 11:59 p.m. That's when the form closes. Now, let's just say we had English 101, I believe, and no, we're going to move on to IB English HL2. You invested way too much time in Miss Evans' class, and so your parents are like, you're moving on to IB English HL2. We want that change. Go ahead and click that. Are we done? No. Okay, you must go through all the way in, hitting next at the bottom until you get to the very end. It takes a while. Sorry.
It's okay.
Keep going. It does take a while. We're there. Until you
That's
get to the
assuming you just
very
have one
end.
correction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you get to the very end, and now you hit submit. It's not until you hit submit that it records the change in here. Does that make sense? So make sure if you're going to make a change, do that as many times as you want. We want you to get this right. Go all the way in and hit submit. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Perfect.
So some quick things we want to make sure you know about that you can find resources. The course description book here. This will be updated shortly, but the course description book takes a minute to load. It indicates, it shows all the classes that we offer. So for example, here, you could see what theory of knowledge covers, that it's a semester-long course, it's it's required, blah, blah, blah. That gives you information about prereqs, the course description, other tools that you want to see and be familiar with. I think the most important right now is the CHS electives catalog, because it can tell you some of the elective choices you have. Take advantage of your senior year, explore your talents, maybe try something new, or refocus on something that you're really good at. I think that could be a great launching point for after you graduate. Baldy View ROP classes are on the top, and it lists like sports medicine and audio production, theater production. The English electives that are available here are listed. These are the CHS courses, and under general electives, others like AVID, Yearbook, etc. These are all listed, and you can kind of scroll down and see a course description. You'll also see any prerequisites, which is, it's kind of more at a glance than the course description book that we showed you a minute ago.
A little easier to navigate the course description book and a lot faster to see what those things are. Now, this is a great way to learn more about the courses that we offer. There's another really great way to learn about those courses, and that is going and asking teachers about them. If you're wondering what you do in IB English HL2, who is a really good person to ask? Yep. Talk about your teachers who have the colleagues, and if they don't know, they can point you in the right direction. Does that make sense? So don't be afraid to go ask teachers. We want you guys to pick the right senior year courses, and we'll help you do that. You can also come and see your counselors. Counselors are available almost all days during lunch. I will tell you, next week in particular, I think there's 2 days when we have meetings during lunchtime that we can't get out of. I apologize in advance. That's not normal. But this is one of those things that please come and talk with us. We will help you up until that time frame when we submit. And then when we meet with you one-on-one, we can spend more time with you at that point as well. Okay. The last thing we wanted to quickly go over is going to be this right here, the college to-do list. That's at the very bottom of there. It's also a QR code on your sheet here.
The last one.
Yep. And this is just, gives you an idea of stuff's coming up beyond course selection about colleges. So you'll notice the SAT dates are going to be on here. We're going to have on here, you're making me go crazy. Our AP exam schedules are coming up. It's all on here in terms of important things coming up. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there we go. We got a bunch of links on here, okay? And the links are going to take you to websites that are going to help you explore and learn more about colleges. Something else that's coming up that I want to make you aware of, in about April or May, you're going to start seeing some videos come out through Canvas that's going to walk you through some of that college admission stuff. They're going to be short videos to try and get you a quick idea of the stuff you need to do. especially over the summer, to be prepared for the college application process. So be on the lookout for those. When you get those Canvas messages, Canvas emails, don't ignore them, please. Actually watch the videos. Trust me, if you follow along with kind of the pacing we have for you, you'll be really well prepared for college applications next year. Okay? Anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to point out,
Okay.
if you are planning to play sports competitively in college, do let your counselor know. We need to make sure you have the 16 core classes needed for NC2A Divisions 1 and 2. If you are thinking about four-year colleges as applications in the fall, take extra time to look this over. There's a lot of great information. You need to know if you're going to be taking the SAT or the ACT. You need to know if you're going to need teacher recommendation letters. If you need teacher recommendation letters, think really long and hard about your current year teachers that you're going to ask by May if they're willing to write for you in the fall. They're not going to write the letter now. They'll write it in the fall, but think about those teachers and those classes where you've really worked hard, where you've really created, like maybe you're like the great question person, or you are a great collaborator, or you really bring your team together in a class. Think about those environments that you can really shine, that a teacher can speak about in their letter of rec. Know that college applications open as early as August 1, almost a month before school starts. That is true for the UC system. They open August 1, and the Common App, which hosts about 1,000 different colleges on their platform, opens August 1 as well. And we just want you to know some of the resources. If you didn't come to junior night, watch the video. Really recommend that. Break it up since it is a little bit longish. But there's a lot of information that's coming up. And the more you can know about it now and kind of create a planner and a sequence of tasks that you're going to do, the happier you will be when senior year starts. Think about things like early action, early decision, your letters of rec, any testing requirements, because that kind of needs to be planned out. And we'll help you answer questions, but you do need to know that stuff. And what you should also be doing right now too, not like right now, but in these next few weeks, is spending time on Schoolings, doing college searches, career searches, major searches. And also, if you use Big Future, you can do that. If you took the PSAT last year or this year, it's open to you. Big Future is a huge search engine for careers and college majors and colleges. So you have a lot of choices out there, and you can start shopping now.
Okay. We have gone through this very quickly. Any questions at all at this point? Yes.
When I put that I wanted to take a science next year, it already made me fill out the elective.
Correct. So if you choose not to take a science or not to take a world language, you are going to be required to pick additional electives. So you will have 2 sets of electives there.
I said I wasn't going to take a world language or a science class.
So that means you're going to have 3 elective spots. You're actually going to need to pick, ready for it, 7 elective choices in that situation. Does that make sense? And you're like, ah!
It's not 7 classes. It's
Right.
to get to the minimum and have backups.
Yes, 3 different primary choices. Yes. Back over there and I'll come up here. Is there a huge benefit taking that 5th year of world language, like Spanish, for the 5th year? So there's a couple benefits to it. Number one, it's going to put you in the most rigorous curriculum available in that world language, which can make a difference when you're being compared to other students in different schools. So absolutely, there is a benefit to that. It is also an additional weighted course. If you're doing it as part of your IB program, that's your HL. So there are some benefits to it. Is it absolutely necessary? Well, it's not going to count any differently towards your seal of biliteracy, because you only need the 4th year to get the seal of biliteracy. So it doesn't make a difference there. Oh, we just went dark again. It doesn't make a difference there. It would depend really on where you're applying to. Here's the other piece of it. If you take the 5th year of a world language, are you giving up another course that you could be taking? There's a lot that goes into that. So this would be a question, once you fill this out, a good thing to talk with your counselor about based upon the schools you're thinking about going to. That is part of the conversation we have one-on-one. Okay, great question. Yes.
Just to clarify, it's possible to skip taking a science next year, but also take a fourth year world language.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Is the syllabus like is it 4 years of world
A
language in
single
high
language.
school, or-
Yes.
So that's a great question. So if you started Spanish in 8th grade and started here in Spanish 2, and then Spanish 3, Spanish 4, or French or German, so junior year in AP level world language, that is your 4th year. You're in year 4. Okay. It's based upon not how many years you took it at CHS, but based upon the highest level you completed. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you're in year 4, AP or regular Spanish 4, that absolutely does count as that 4th year. Yes.
It depends on your
Yep.
it depends on your HL/SL balance and where you are in math and language.
Yep. The answer is maybe. It really is an individual thing on that. Yep.
And it might be that for one semester you take 7 and one semester you don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Other questions, guys?
Yes.
So I already have 4 years of Spanish, and I'm upper IB, so my schedule's gonna be quite tight. But then I also have to take economics next year to graduate, right?
So
the
economics is part
summer.
of the graduation requirement.
Mhm.
A lot of IB students will take it over the summer, but it is typically set up where economics is opposite of TOK2. So we typically set that up specifically for IB students to be able to take it in the school year.
Yeah, and then would you be able to like let's say like well I don't have to take Spanish because I already have 4 years and that's required for IB, right? So would you like prioritize the economics over?
That's a conversation we can have together when we meet.
Yeah, there's a lot more in terms of what you're taking that I would want to look at. I'd want to look at what your SL/HL balance is and take a look at what other options might be available to you. So there's a lot of individualized attention that we'll have to look at that. And that's honestly, that's why we meet one-on-one with you guys. We'll meet with you each one-on-one because we want to make sure that, especially in your senior year, that you're meeting all the requirements you want to meet and need to meet, and that we're designing a schedule that fits you personally.
Right. In the context of your future goals, like if your career is going to be in economics or business, finance, then we have a different discussion. But if you want to be a linguist, right?
Okay. Any other questions? These are great questions. This is why we recorded in this period, Ms. Aber. Any other questions? Back there.
Could you take AP like micro econ for a semester and then just take econ like online?
You could take econ in the summer and do a single semester of AP econ, but the school kind of caps the online programs.
And if you're doing AP macro micro, it would, again, that would probably be more of an individual discussion because it would depend on what else you're taking and the reason why you would want to do that. There's some possibilities there we'd want to talk about. Okay. Question up here. How do you apply to take courses over the summer? Really good question. So the summer school application for Claremont High School is not out yet. We expect it to be out sometime in March. When it comes out in March, there will be a window of time for you to register. And during that time frame, you want to get on that and make sure you get registered. It will always be first come, first serve. Classes like economics and government will fill up over the summer. So you are going to want to try and get into that as quickly as possible. That'll be announced on Canvas. It'll be thrown in the bulletin on Wolfcast and probably go out through Remind and Blackboard, which is basically your parents' cell phones. So back over here, and I'll come up here. That one is not weighted. That is correct. Yeah.
Would it be like possible to do like regular econ or something like that?
It's possible, as indicated before, but it's really an individual discussion, just to maximize what your goals are.
Yeah, there's some options we can look at to help you with that, especially if you're looking to continue on in a weighted course for a semester. We can look at some dual enrollment options as well. So there's some. It really is going to be an individual decision on that one. We had a question up here.
So for the summer classes for econ, for example, do you guys like prioritize IB students?
It's a really good question. For summer classes in econ, do we prioritize IB? Traditionally, no. But I will tell you, traditionally speaking, our IB students wanting to take it tend to be the first ones who register for it. And so we don't typically have IB students not getting it in the summer. Does that answer the question?
We try to create enough
Yeah.
sections in the summer to fulfill the need.
And it's honestly, it's the people who wait until the last minute that end up not getting it. That's typical. So at IB, you guys are usually on top of things, and you guys usually get that pretty quickly. So, okay. Good questions. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it immensely. We will see you guys soon.
Yes, thank you.